signed with Chicago early on in free agency, like before all of the craziness, was there ever hesitation of like, well, let me see how this plays out? Because if he signs with New York or he goes to like, obviously the building blocks change with the league and the landscape. Was it why? Was there ever any hesitation to like, let's see how this plays out, as opposed to signing how you signed with Chicago?
No. So let me tell you how it played out. So Joe Johnson was also a free agent. He signed right away with the Hawks for a crazy contract, 120 something. And then Amari went to the Knicks, right? So there was two max spots available in New York. Amari went to the Knicks. And then after that, obviously we knew D Wade was staying in Miami because that's where he wanted to be at. Bosh signs. And I go to Chicago and I'm like, man, this is the team. Like D Rose is a star. Joakim Noah is a lockdown defender. Luol Deng can do a little bit of everything. They're missing a good power forward. I plug in that spot. And then in case he comes, I'll take a little bit of less bread. So they got the max space. And then maybe like a 2 days after that, he goes down to Miami. So the puzzle pieces were already falling a little bit, so to speak. So the spots that he really could have went to at that time, he could have went to the Jersey Nets because they didn't sign anybody that summer. Nobody went to Jersey. They had cap space. He could have went to the Knicks to play with Amari. He could have came to us in Chicago, or he could have went to Miami, which is where he ended up going. Or he could have stayed in Cleveland. People forget about that too. That was also an option.
Yeah, hey, I feel like we're over time, so I'm gonna wrap up with a couple more because this has been fun. I was like, I don't know what you got to do. I'm good. We can do this all day. I'm here. Let me ask you a question, and this may be unprofessional. This is Cleveland fan, born and raised, talking to you. I don't try to count anyone's wallet, and you just said $35 million. I don't care what part of the world you give me that money. I'm gonna figure it out and be okay. So I understand the financial side of you going to Utah, as opposed to staying in Cleveland. But I'm curious, as you watch the rise of LeBron, and even before he got to Miami, he makes the finals, he overcomes the Pistons, right? And then he's going head to head with what Boston had to create to go up against him with the big three. Do you ever think to yourself, but if you were with him, do you ever think like, damn, we could have really made some noise and gone to the finals and did some things?
Oh, me and him have talked about it. If we stayed together, we probably would have won one or two championships before. And he may never have ended up going to Miami, right? Imagine if I stay, we build a championship team around, and we win a couple of rings in Cleveland. There is no Miami LeBron. Why would he go?
That's a fact. Well, because I'm thinking
we
like
talked about it.
Because you got what? They signed Larry Hughes, they signed Antoine Jameson, like that was the big pieces. Instead of Antoine, it's you, and then Larry Hughes. We don't know. We don't even know what the construction of the team is. It's one of the greatest.
Was there for a minute,
yeah. Drew Gooden was nice. Shout out to Kansas. No, that's crazy. Well, so you guys have talked about this before.
We have talked about it. I mean, we think about it. We spent a couple All-Stars together. We did a couple Olympic trips together. We've talked about it, but that's the crazy thing about the business of basketball that nobody talks about. Like for us, we all wanted to stay together, but then the business of basketball steps in, and we're not the ones cutting our checks, not the one trying to, keep everybody together. It's not our responsibility to pay his bill or pay my bill. But if I was willing to take half of what I was being offered, I could have stayed.
Hey, Carlos, 35 mil is 35 mil, man.